I'm Sa'id Al-Blushi, head of cybersecurity. It's a pleasure to be here and talk to you all. I was going to take you through the journey of expanding cybersecurity scope to, we're looking after cybersecurity, so there was a decision by the management to look after OT security. For those who don't know what is OT security, it's the operational technology. It's basically industrial systems. So we don't have IT only, we have OT as well. So I'm going to take you through our journey of how we expanded our cybersecurity to the OT, and I will take you through that and how we managed to get into that, because there are some challenges to get into the, to tap to the OT environment, by the way. So we're going to go through that, and we'll share why, what we have experienced and what we have learned from that journey. So to take you there, I will be addressing the challenges which we faced throughout this journey, how we overcame the challenges, what we have achieved, and the lessons learned. But before I go there, I would like to take you quickly through what is OQ and what we are doing and why we are one of the national critical infrastructure. So OQ Group was formed in 2018, and the brand was announced in 2019. But actually, it's 40 years plus old, and we have a company, Oxia, actually, that is 100 years old. So we took over that company. And as you can see, we're still growing. We have more mega projects added to the company portfolio on an annual basis. This is what we call OQ's value chain. You can see from the left side or right side, on the top we have the business streams, on the bottom we have the plants with the products which we producing and selling to different countries and customers across the globe. All of these in the plants are running actually based on OT systems, on industrial systems. And we're dealing with very explosive materials over here. We have chemicals, we have crude oil, we have petrochem. So it's very critical to protect this infrastructure. We are operating in 5 continents now with more than 17 countries. We have more than 3,000 customers and 5,500 staff from 53 nationalities. And the first half of 2022, our revenue was more than $21 billion US. In this slide, I just would like you to just look at the couple of keywords here. So we are national investment, national growth, sustainability, maximizing value chain. These are the key words that define OQ actually. We also heavily invest in the social responsibilities, in the investment, in the environment as well. And we have a snapshot on the bottom of how much the company has already invested into the sustainability aspect. We're also contributing heavily in the in-country value. So our procurement spent around $1.3 billion in 2021 itself alone. So we're contributing to the SMEs. We're contributing to the national economy as well in Oman. So I will start the business case by prediction from Gartner that OT will be weaponized to cause human casualties, and that is the expectation by 2025. So we are not talking anymore about financial impact or national impact or economic impact. We're talking about human casualties. So this is becoming so dangerous nowadays. I will start with the challenges. First of all, cybersecurity is not the OT team's priority. Their priority is operations, production, operations, uptime. So we're stepping in there and telling them, take care of cybersecurity. No one will do that, by the way. They have their own targets. And they've been operating that way for decades. So someone is stepping in and saying, you take care of cybersecurity. It's very challenging to communicate with them. Communication gap. We talk cybersecurity, they talk engineering. So someone needs to intervene and translate what we say to them. Clock is ticking. We have a lot of outdated controls. Actually, some cases you don't have controls at all. They just brought the operating systems or industrial systems, one single layer, they implemented everything and it's operating there, and they're happy. There is no layered architecture, there is no controls at all. And clock is ticking because you can easily breach into this system, and I think the exercise which we had it for the last 2 days proved that. Again, engineers vs officers. We're coming from the headquarters and they're working at remote sites, at the rigs, at different operating assets. And you go there and you tell them, do this. They won't understand what you're saying, basically. And people change management, by the way, from both sides, and I need to admit that. Sometimes we don't cope with that, what they're saying to us, and sometimes they don't cope with what we're saying to them. So there is a lot of challenges with the engineers. Resistant to change, again, they've been working like this for decades, and suddenly someone is stepping in and telling them, you need to implement controls. And then, to also be fair, you cannot touch these systems because availability is more important than confidentiality when it goes to OT systems. So you cannot shut down the systems to implement controls. So you need to cope with that. Absence of local regulations and standards as well is one of the challenges which we faced. Sometimes they say, where are you coming from? So you need to have a solid ground to go and convince them that we need to have, we have this regulatory requirement, for example, coming from this government regulatory body to enforce the controls. Again, absence of OT security policies. We don't have approved policies. So you go there, you tell them, do this. You say, okay, what is your ground? Is there something, instruction coming from the executive management to implement these controls? Ownership and accountability. No one would like to accept the new change, the new culture to that environment. So you need to work, and try to use your best of you to convince them. So what we have done to overcome and achieve what you can see today is, first of all, is to buy in the executive support. So we did that by performing a risk assessment on critical assets, getting the output of these assets, prepared a nice presentation with proof of value as well on the security controls, and we referred to incidents that took place regionally and internationally. So that opened-eyed the executive management that, we're running actually at serious risk, and someone needs to take care of this, the security gap. So they asked me to take care of that, unfortunately. Thank you for that. So what we have done, first of all, is to develop a security policy. And we included OT security controls requirement in that policy. We got it approved by the board. So we have now the governance aspect of enforcing the controls. Then we developed a more detailed security policy manual with all the controls based on 62443, which is the security standard for OT systems. Now, so we have the ground. We have approved policies, documents. We approach them again that, okay, let's start communicating with them. So we did that through a risk assessment.